Hey everyone, so we've done a breakdown of the whole Flow website, we've gone through everything. This time we're going to focus on approvals, and we're actually going to create an approval for Twitter so that when someone tweets a certain hashtag, i.e. FlowJoe, it will get emailed to myself and I can approve that and retweet that. So that's what we're going to look at today, and let's get going. So let's have a discussion about what approvals are in Microsoft Flow firstly. So approvals basically allow you to manage your approval procedure of documents and processes across multiple services. This can basically help you if you're the type of person that want to manage approval of documents being placed on the Microsoft stack, such as in SharePoint, OneDrive, all the way through to those of you that want to manage your social media, such as WordPress, blog posts, or retweets if someone mentions your business on Twitter. So how can this actually help you then? This basically can effectively manage your approval process from one place within Microsoft Flow. And that's why we're going to look at this today, because it's a huge part of Microsoft Flow, and we're going to deep dive into the actual Twitter process so that we can see when someone actually posts a hashtag FlowJoe, for example, I'll get emailed to my Outlook and I'll be able to effectively retweet that on the go wherever I am. And I can actually manage all of that rather than having to try and follow Twitter, follow blog posts, etc. Okay, so we are going to click on approvals and land on this page, the Create Approval Flow homepage. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to build this ourselves. There are templates to do similar things, if not this as well. However, we want to actually look at how we go about making our own approvals. So if I click on Create Approval Flow, we then load to the approvals page, and we have a load of templates here. It says there are currently no triggers for this connector. Right, so what do we do now? We want to make a flow. So if we hit My Flows and create new from blank, you'll be able to create your new, or you can create one from template. I've started one from a template, retweet with approval. So if I click on edit there, it will say when a new tweet appears and the search text is hashtag FlowJoe, I want to do something. So let's just rename that. So I want an approval retweet for hashtag FlowJoe. So now whenever a new tweet appears with the hashtag FlowJoe, it's going to send an approval to somewhere and await for a response to do something. Okay, so let's have a look at the start approval. If we expand that, we are effectively triggering this approval process when someone triggers a tweet with hashtag FlowJoe. So what's going to happen then is we're going to get an approval type, and we're going to have the first respond, because that's all we want at the moment. There are premium custom responses that we can have, but we just want to do the first to respond at the moment because it's just me. So then we want a title. So the title is going to be retweet approval request, and then it's going to be the dynamic content of the tweet body. And then we're going to assign that to me, which is joe@flowjoe.onmicrosoft.com. What that's going to do is allow me to actually go to my email address and get that, or alternatively, I can go onto the application. It will pop up and it should give me a little screen to approve or deny, etc. So I will put that up on the side of the screen when I'm going through that process, because I'll run a test to show you this. So that's done. And then you have additional things as well that you can add: details, links, link descriptions, the requester, if we want to enable email and push notifications, etc. So that's the approval process. Let's then move on to the tweet scope. So we've looked at the approval process and how we actually get down to responding. So let's go into the post a new tweet scope. So what this does is it takes the response that we give it, and if it is equal to approve, it is going to go into the if yes section, and then it's going to post a new tweet with the tweet text. Now if we click on the tweet text, it's dynamic content. If we scroll down, we can actually see what the actual content is. So the tweet text is the text content of the original tweet. So when we hit approve, we are expecting it to go through, this process, it hits the approve trigger, it goes into if yes, which we are, we're saying yes, we are approving this. It posts a new tweet, and the tweet text, the dynamic content from the original tweet, will be retweeted onto our Twitter profile. If it's not, then we are just not going to do anything. We're not adding an action, we're not going to retweet it, we're just going to ignore the original tweet. Awesome, so now we have our approval flow created, but how do we know it works? All we need to do is test it, and how I'm going to test this is I've created a new test flow Twitter account to actually create a tweet with hashtag FlowJoe in it. So here you see 40 minutes ago I did a hashtag FlowJoe test for flow approvals. Now what I'm going to do then is I'm going to run a test to test this, and I'm going to kick this off. What's going to happen is it's going to see when a new tweet appears, it is going to trigger. Obviously it has my tweet from previous run, so then the flow approval has started. So on my phone I now have a approval come through for me. I'm going to record this for you, which I'm doing right now, and I'm going to put it on the side. And what it's asking me to do is, do I want to respond approve, reject, or reassign it to someone else? So if I click approve and then confirm, it will then go through the process, and as you can see on the screen right now, it is just loading. It's saying my flow has run successfully. It has now gone through the scope. So now if I go back to my own profile, you can then see that 13 seconds ago, FlowJoe test for flow approvals has gone through and has now been triggered. So we know our approval flow works. Well, there it is, guys. We've created our first approval flow. We went through the process of seeing the approval page, went onto the flow, created a trigger, created the approval, and then looked at the response. And we also saw an if statement in there that allowed us to determine if we was going to do something or if we wasn't going to do something if it wasn't approved. We're going to keep looking at approvals for now, probably look at into some more detail about some restrictions that we may have, etc. And we're going to go from there. So thanks again for watching. See ya.